Hey, welcome, mathematicians. Today we're going to be working on page 77 and 78, number 1, 3, and 4. 2 is extra credit if you want to try to do 2. 1, 3, 4. Doesn't sound like much, but 3 is 1, 2, 3 problems, and it's actually more if you consider that you have to estimate and figure it out. So let's look at the first one. This is the same thing we've been working on, basically. Just one problem has a little bit of a bigger number, so I'll go over that one. So the first one is the product of this 87,984 times 6 closer to this number or that number? Just estimate. And when I estimate, I just estimate usually to the digit furthest on the left, the first one that I see over here. So like, is that 87,000? Is that closer to 80,000 or 90,000? Well, let's see. What's the number next door? You knock next door. It's a 7, so it's going to go up. So it's going to go up to 90,000. So you say, okay, well, what's 90,000 times 6? And is that closer to 500, 600? Let me show you, before I go into this problem, what that looks like. So 87,984 is going to be closer because you're like, you know what, I'm just going to round that to the nearest 10,000. I'm going to see if it's going to stay on the floor as 80,000 and go up to 90,000. I look next door to 7, goes up. So 90,000, and they're saying the product of 90,000 of this number and 6, 90,000 times 6. What is that? I don't really want to tell you that answer because I want you to do it. But I'll pretend like it's 5. What if it said this number and 5? So let's say we have to say 90,000 times 5. And really it's 6. So don't just write this down, but I'm doing a similar problem to give you an idea of how to do it. So 90,000 times 5, well, let's think about it. The numbers that I see that stand out here are 9 and 5, right? Everything else is just a bunch of zeros. So I would think about, well, what's 9 times 5? Because it's really going to be 9 10,000s times 5. Notice how 90,000 is 9 10,000s. It's like if you had a $10,000 bill and you had 9 of them. 9 10,000s. But I'm thinking about 9 10,000s times 5. So I'm going to think, first I need to think about the numbers I see. I see 9 and 5. What's 9 times 5? Hopefully you know that by now. If not, check your multiplication table. 9 times 5 is 45. I just know that because I've been working on my multiplication table. And hopefully you have too. So 9 times 5 is 45. And this is 9 10,000s times 5. So 9 10,000s times 5 is going to be 45 10,000s. And another way to look at that, to think of it like that, is cover up all the zeros, and then you say 9 times 5, and you write the answer 45, and then see how many you just hid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because those need to come over on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you put the comma in the right place. Well, the comma always goes 1, 2, 3 from the right to the left, and then you put a comma. 1, 2, 3, so right there. So 450,000. So what I did, just to review, is I had noticed the numbers I can multiply easily, which is 9 and 5. 9 times 5 is 45. And then I just uncovered how many zeros and wrote them over here. And the way you think of it, if you want to think about what you're really doing there, is what you do. That's 9 10,000s times 5. So 9 10,000 times 5 is going to be 45 10,000. So 45 and then a 0 in the ones, in the tens, in the hundreds, and in the thousands, and the 5's in the 10,000 spot. So it's 45 10,000s. But a sure way to do it, just cover the zeros and then reveal, oh yeah, 4. So that's going to be kind of like, so that's how you do it, but except you're going to want to substitute a 6 for that, and you're going to get a different answer. So please do number 1. And then number 3 is stuff we've been working on. And you're going to need to do 2 things here, you guys. It says estimate and then find the product. So first you estimate. And I would just estimate. The easiest way to do it is just do it to the first number you see there. So if it's 3, is that going to go up to, is that going to stay at 3,000 or go up to 4,000? Is this one going to go down to 9,000 or go up to 10,000? And is this one going to go down to 70,000 or up to 80,000? So once you're up to those big numbers, it's kind of like what we just did before. So I'm not going to solve this one for you, but I'll solve a similar one, which is this one. And I'll let you guys do your thing. So I'm not going to solve 73,987 times 2, but I'll solve 63,987 times 2 for you, so you can kind of see how you do it. Then you can do the other one. Okay, so first we have to estimate. What is that going to be if I estimate, just so I can kind of get an idea in my head? Well, I'm just going to estimate to the 6 here. I'm going to say, is this closer to 60,000 or 70,000? So I look next door, just like when we estimate. Who's there? It's me, a 3. Oh, you're kind of a little guy. 3s go down. Remember? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 goes down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goes up. It's pretty obvious. The only one that's kind of not obvious is 5, and 5 always goes up. 5 to 9, climb the vine. So this one goes down because it's just a little 3. So it's going to estimate down to 60,000. So let's find out what 60,000 times 2 is, and then we'll have an idea of about the answer. So just like last time, this is 6 10,000s times 2. The numbers that pop out to me are 6 and 2, and then a bunch of zeros. So at first I don't worry about the zeros. I say, well, what's 6 times 2? I know that's 12 for a fact. And I cover up the zeros. 6 times 2 is 12. And then I write them over here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Because I'm not just multiplying 6 times 2, I'm multiplying 6 with 4 zeros after it times 2. So I can't just forget about those 4 zeros. I've got to write them over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once I do that, I count from right to left, 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, put this here in the right spot, and it says 120,000, which kind of makes sense. 60,000 times 2 is 120,000. And the way to think about that is 6 10,000s times 2 is going to be 12 10,000s. 6 10,000s times 2 is 12 10,000s. So the 2 is in the 10,000 spot, just like the 6 in the 10,000 spot. That 2 is in the 10,000 spot. So I used to have 6, but then I doubled it, and I have 12 10,000s. And the way I did it is I just said 6 times 2, but it's not just 6 times 2, it's 6 with 4 zeros times 2. So it's going to be 12 with 4 zeros. Okay, so I know it's going to be about 12,000. So that's the first step. Yours is different because you're going to be doing 70,000 times 2, or 7 10,000s times 2. So you want to do that because you want to know about what the answer is. In case you mess up on the math problem, you know to fix it. And that's really why you do that. So now let's remember how to do this. Okay, so write it down. 63,987 times 2. So 2's in the 1 spot, right? And now the super important part is right here. Give yourself a little avenue for the 1s, for the 10s, the 100s, the 1000s, the 10,000s. We might even go into the 100,000s. We'll see. Boy, when I wrote it again, I didn't do it right. I need to have 4 zeros. Okay. So we think the answer is going to be around 120,000. So let's find out if it's around 120,000. Okay, which is what we found out with our estimate. So let's just go ahead and multiply them. First comes the 1s, right? We're going to multiply the 1s times 2, the 10s times 2, the 100s times 2, the 1000s times 2, the 10,000s times 2. If there's 100,000, multiply the 100,000s by 2. And you just keep doing it. They all have to be doubled, right? You've got to double each number there. So 7 1s times 2. What is it? What's 7 times 2? 14. And do I just squeeze 14 in there? No, you don't. That'd be weird. You can't do that, Daniel. You can do it like this. You put the 4 there and the 1 up here. 14. Which makes sense, right? Because 14 is 1 10 and 4 ones. It's like a $10 bill and 4 $1 bills. So you separate them. And the first number goes up top in the attic. The second number goes on the bottom. 4 ones, 1 10. It's like if you were to hide money in the attic. I just hid a $10 bill in the attic. Now I'm going to double the tens. 2 times 8. What's 2 times 8? 16. But look at that. I've got a little 1 in the attic. Don't forget about that 1. So 16 plus the 1 and that's in the attic. How many tens do I have now? I've got 17 tens. And no, I don't write them weird like that. You know that. 17. I write the 7 down here and the 1 up here. 17. 17. 7 tens, 100. Now I'm going to multiply the 100s. Okay, keep going. You can do it. 2 times 9 is 18. Don't forget about the little 1 up there. 19. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 1 is 19. And I don't squeeze the 19 down there. I can't do it. I have 19 hundreds. So I'm going to put the 9 here and the 1 here. So remember, if you have 19, the number on the right is going to go down there, and the bigger number is going to go up there. So in this case, because I was talking about 1900s, 900 goes down here, and then 1000 goes up there. So you're separating the numbers like that. Now we're on the thousand spot. We're going to multiply 3,000s times 2. Well, it's 2 times 3,000. How many thousands? 6, right? 2 times 3 is 6. Don't forget about the 1 you just hit up there from the last one. So that's 6, 7. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, 7. And now you can do the last one. We've got to multiply the 10,000s times 2. So 2 times 6 is 12. 12 10,000s. And I don't just squeeze a 12 in there, do I? 12 separates, just like the other one does. 2 goes down there, 1 goes up here. But in this case, there's nothing up there, so this goes right there. And now I go over and put the comma in the right spot. This is always kind of a fun thing to do at the end. It's like the icing on the cake. 1, 2, 3, and then goes the comma. So I just got 127,974, which is very close to my estimate, which was 120,000, so I know I got it right. Yes! If I had gotten something like very different from this, then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I better do it again. But it's so close, I know I got it right. So, that's how you do it, you guys. So please do, number 1, all of 3, which means you're going to estimate for each one and then find the actual answer. When you find the answer, you're going to do what I just did, which is write a little line for each spot, for the 1s, the 10s, the 100s, the 1000s, the 10,000s. You might even just want to use graph paper. I know you all have graph paper. That way it's totally in line. And you might not be able to fit it all in here. You might need to get a piece of scratch paper. In math, scratch paper is just something you do. You got to use scratch paper. And do number 4. You can figure that one out. Just if 1 is that many feet, how many is 8? First estimate 8 times 5,000, and then see if your answer is around that answer. All right, you can do it.